First, I want to make something very clear. You can use any weapon in this game and still have plenty of success in your hunts. And in Sunbreak, the developers actually did a decent job balancing most of the rarity 10 sword and shields. Still though, there are a handful of sword and shields that aren't as strong as the others, and in the case of the Ninja Master Sword, it is the worst sword and shield in the game. And it's not just because it's very weak. The Ninja Master Sword is a scam. And it has been that way ever since the High Ninja Sword in the base game, where it was by far the most popular sword and shield. So why is this weapon such a scam? Well, if we look at the stats, we can see why this weapon was so overhyped. 100% affinity. Wow, this weapon has to be overpowered, right? Well, affinity isn't the only stat a weapon has. To balance this, the attack stat is a below average 300, it has 230 hits of blue sharpness, which is a terrible sharpness in master rank. If you don't already know, you deal more damage with higher sharpness levels. Blue sharpness has a damage multiplier of 1.2, whereas white sharpness has a damage multiplier of 1.32, which is a 10% damage increase from blue. And since many rarity 10 weapons have either white or purple sharpness, then any weapon with blue sharpness is basically dead. Additionally, the weapon deals no element or status damage. The weapon has no level 2, 3, or 4 decoration slots, which are very invaluable since a lot of good armor skills are level 2 decorations or higher. Yeah, sure, 3 level 1 decorations are nice for slotting in some comfort skills, but most of them aren't too useful, and you'll usually have plenty of level 1 decoration slots anyways. And finally, it only has a level 1 rampage decoration slot, so you are forced to upgrade it when curious crafting this weapon since level 1 rampage skills are garbage. And it's more optimal to have that level 2 rampage slot for anti-species decorations as opposed to curious crafting all attack boosts. So yeah, the Ninja Master Sword has way more weaknesses than strengths, and even its one strength of having 100% crit rate isn't actually that great since you can't use the armor skill weakness exploit, which would have been a huge damage boost. And so the conclusion is that the Ninja Master Sword is a very underpowered weapon, and the built-in 100% affinity is a scam. But if you still aren't convinced, then let's make a build with the Ninja Master Sword and another sword and shield, and compare their effective raw. The other sword and shield that we'll compare against the Ninja Master Sword is the Lunatic Rose, which is one of the best sword and shields in the game. It has a decent attack stat at 320, 70 hits of white, 30% affinity, a level 3 slot, and a level 2 rampage slot. It also deals poison damage, which is a very strong status in this game. Already we can clearly see that the Lunatic Rose is much better than the Ninja Master Sword, but now let's make the builds. The charm I'll be using has attack boost 3 with a level 1 slot. We'll be making standard builds that don't use uncomfortable skills such as Dereliction, Bloodlust, or Mail of Hellfire, and don't rely heavily on Curious Armor crafting since Curious Armor crafting is kinda dumb. Also note that these builds are made during Title Update 2, so keep this in mind if you're watching after Title Update 3 or beyond. So as I said before, for the Ninja Master Sword we want to Curious Craft in Rampage slot upgrade to get the level 2 Rampage slots, and for the leftover Anomaly slots, you want Attack Boost to get an extra 5 raw. I don't have Attack Boost here since I haven't unlocked the Anomaly slots yet, so just pretend I have the extra 5 raw. As for the armor pieces, we want Guild Palace Helm, Flaming Espinas Muscle, Golden Loom Braces, Onmyo Ateobi or however you pronounce that, and Flaming Espinas Heel. For decorations, we need 1 attack boost, 1 challenger, 2 critical, 1 guardian, 1 wire bug, and 1 wire bug plus. You'll have 7 free level 1 decoration slots for whatever comfort skills you want. I went with Flinch Free and Defiance. And you'll have 1 free level 4 decoration, which again can be whatever. I went with Counter Plus just to get as much damage as possible. Now let's compute what we call effective raw, or EFR for short. EFR is a number that tells us how powerful a build is in terms of its raw attack. For those who don't know how to compute this number, here's a general formula. Here, B is the base attack of the weapon, M are the multiplicative buffs like attack boost and offensive guard, A are the additive buffs like attack boost, agitator, and burst, S is the sharpness modifier, C is the effective crit modifier, and others are other damage modifiers such as the anti-species rampage decorations. So for our Ninja Master Sword build, we have that our B is 305 since that is the attack stat of the Ninja Master Sword, M is 1.1 since we only have one multiplicative buff which is attack boost 7, we'll consider offensive guard later. For A, we have 15 from Power Charm and Power Talon, you should have these in your inventory at all times, 10 from Attack Boost 7, 20 from Agitator, 15 from Burst, and another 15 from Counter Strike. We do have Peak Performance and Adrenaline Rush in this build, but those are not very reliable ways to increase your attack, at least not as reliable as Counter Strike in my opinion, so I'm excluding those buffs in this calculation. S is 1.2 since this weapon has blue sharpness, C is 1.4 since we have crit boost 3 and crits 100% of the time, and others is 1.05 for the anti-species rampage decorations, which cover every large monster in the game except for the Rakana Kadakis and the final boss. When we plug everything into the formula, we get an EFR of 723.34 without offensive guard. If we include offensive guard, then M would equal 1.1 times 1.15, and so our EFR with offensive guard is 811.44. Now let's make a build for the Lunatic Rose. Since this weapon already has a level 2 rampage decoration, we can fill in all attack boosts when curious crafting. Again, I don't have the 6th slot unlocked yet, so just pretend I have the extra 5 attack. For the armor pieces, we have the Auroracanth head, Flaming Espionage Muscle, Golden Loon Braces, Onmyo Ateobi, and Onmyo Sashiko. For decorations, we need 2 attack, 2 critical, 1 expert, 1 guardian, 1 mastery plus, 1 tenderizer, 1 wirebug, and 1 wirebug plus. You'll have 3 level 1 decoration slots for whatever you want. I just went with Defiance here. Now let's compute the EFR for this build. I'm not going to go through all the details again so as to not waste your time, but if you plug everything into the formula, you end up with an EFR of 820.7892 without offensive guard, and 927.5112 with offensive guard. Here's a table that summarizes our results, and hopefully you can see who the clear winner is. The Lunatic Rose build is at worst 13 to 14% stronger than the Ninja Master Sword build. In fact, we can observe that the Ninja Master Sword with offensive guard is actually still weaker than the Lunatic Rose without offensive guard. And it gets even worse since the Lunatic Rose deals poison damage whereas the Ninja Master Sword does not. And the Lunatic Rose effectively has more hits of white than Ninja Master Sword has hits of blue, due to the inclusion of Master's Touch. I'd say the only thing that the Ninja Master Sword build has going for it is the bonus level of Intrepid Heart, but it's not worth sacrificing 13 to 14% of your damage for, and really you can make a better Intrepid Heart build with the Lunatic Rose that will still outperform the Ninja Master Sword. But if you're still not convinced that the Ninja Master Sword is a scam, why don't we bring these builds into an actual hunt and see for yourself how much damage we do. Let's do speedrun attempts of the event quest Daimyo Hermitor with the exact builds we showcase in this video. Now forgive me for not being some world-class speedrunner here. These sets aren't optimal to begin with, nor were these runs perfectly executed, but the point of these runs is to compare the damage between the two builds. So let's start with the Lunatic Rose build. You can see that the MHRise Sunbreak did 560 damage on the first hit, and 210 on the multi-hits, which is very solid damage for a non-optimal build like this. Now we are attempting to capture Daimyo Hermitor. You can see that it's now poisoned, so we are getting a bonus 30 damage per second, which is very nice. Now that my dogs have inflicted paralysis, I will go ahead and do the Perfect Rush combo, which should KO. That final hit of Perfect Rush did 412 damage there, and one more MHRise Sunbreak plus some more additional hits should bring Daimyo Hermitor down to capturable range. And that's it. Quest completed in 58 seconds. Obviously you can have a much better run than this if you optimize everything, but 58 seconds is still good nonetheless. Now let's do the same quest with the Ninja Master Sword. We will attempt the same strategy as before, so Might Seed and Demon Powder to start, grab the third wirebug here, and try to get Daimyo Hermitor enraged as soon as possible. Just like that last run, this opening is kinda scuffed, but once Daimyo Hermitor does enrage, we will MHRise Sunbreak here. This time we only do 465 damage on the first hit, and 176 on the multi-hits. If you recall, the Lunatic Rose did 560 on the first hit of MHRise Sunbreak, so you can clearly see that we are doing significantly less damage now. It is also worth mentioning that we are not inflicting poison this time, since the Ninja Master Sword has no poison damage, or any element or status damage for that matter. And yeah, we are just not doing any damage here. This final hit of Perfect Rush did only 350 this time, and as you'll see in a little bit, we aren't going to get enough damage to capture Daimyo Hermitor in a Pitfall Trap. So I need to use an extra trap to finish the quest. You probably could get enough damage in the Pitfall Trap, but that would probably require the lowest HP roll and really needs all the stars to align properly, but I'm not going to waste any more time than I already have grinding for that. Again, the point of these runs is to compare the damage on an actual hunt, and hopefully you can now see how bad the Ninja Master Sword is. Like I said in the beginning of this video, you can use any weapon in this game and still have plenty of success on your hunts. But the 100% affinity and the long sharpness does not make the Ninja Master Sword good at all. Even if you want to make a healer build or some other gimmicky build, this weapon is still bad. Fortunately, if you are a fan of punching monsters or just enjoy the look of the Ninja Master Sword in general, you can at least craft it as a layered weapon now. But as far as the actual weapon goes, the Ninja Master Sword is a scam. That is all I have for this video. If there's something you wanted to add, then feel free to leave a comment down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and I'll see you next time.